Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is stellabeautytarot back at you again with another video. I would like to thank each and every one of you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and donating to my channel. I really do appreciate all the love and all the support. And thank you for those of you who've been booking readings with me. It is truly appreciated, okay? So guys, your girl's Patreon channel is up and running. So if you would like to support your girl, you'll be able to find a link in the description box below. I do post 2 exclusive videos per week, so go check it out if you feel called to. So guys, before we dive in, if you've been loving the energy here, I have created a collection of spiritual ebooks and printable workbooks to help you along your journey. From manifestation rituals to love journal prompts, these tools are designed to help you align, heal, and rise. You'll be able to find a link in the description box below or on my Patreon channel under the shop tab. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video is going to be about how are you being perceived right now. So pile number 1, you're going to be the pink teddy. Pile number 2, you're going to be the yellow teddy. And pile number 3, you're going to be the blue teddy. So again, pile number 1, pink teddy. Pile number 2, yellow teddy. And pile number 3, blue teddy. So pause this video a few months and meditate on the card or the teddy that you feel most drawn to. You'll be able to find your timestamps in the description box below, and I'll see you guys at your pile. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is stellabeautytarot back at you again with another video. So my pile number 1, you picked the pink teddy, and this is going to be your reading, okay? So if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back. And if you are a newbie, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. So the way that I like to do this is like to smudge the cards first before we get started, so we don't pick up the energy of previous file or previous readings, okay? So my pile number 1. How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived right now, my pile number 1? We have the King of Wands. You're being perceived as a bold individual, somebody who's assertive, somebody who is a goal oriented, somebody who's going places in life, okay? So I feel like maybe some of you could be in a new environment, maybe you started a new job, maybe you moved into a new neighborhood, you're part of a new community, like maybe you started like a new hobby or something and then you're part of a new community. So let's say for instance you're a dancer and then you started dancing again, you started practicing again, dance classes, like people are looking at you like the King of Wands, like you are very bold, you're you're somebody who is action oriented. That's how you're being perceived, as somebody who is going places, somebody who has a lot going on for themselves. With the King of Wands, this is what I'm getting here. That's how you're being perceived, okay? So how are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived? We have the High Priestess. So you're definitely being perceived as somebody who's very wise beyond your years with the High Priestess. You could be a Cancer here. Don't have to be, okay? I'm gonna like you're very cautious about who you allow in your personal space. This is how you're being perceived right now. There's more to you than meets the eyes. That's how you're being perceived with the High Priestess, okay? There's many layers to you. Just like the Moon card, there's many layers to you. How are you being perceived right now? Wow, 7 of Swords. You're definitely being perceived as mysterious, okay? Like you move in silence, like you have a lot of things going on for yourself that you would not like to disclose, okay, with the Seven of Swords. And like I'm definitely getting the vibe that people perceive you as being somebody who's very strategic in your approach, how you maneuver, okay? You're not going to show your hands, you're not going to show your next move, you're not going to say too much of what you got going on, okay? You're going to keep a little bit to yourself. So how are you being perceived right now? We have the Five of Swords. Ooh, you may have like people that could be secretly competing with you with the Five of Swords, because you're definitely being perceived as a threat with the Five of Swords. Because the Five of Swords is like winning at all costs. It's also somebody operating out of their ego, somebody who's being, vengeful or like verbally combative. Okay, they want to win, they hit below the belt. So you may have somebody like that around you that wants to win at all costs, and they perceive you as a threat. They perceive you as an opponent, somebody that they want to dominate, somebody that they want to overcome, like they want to suppress. Okay, with the Five of Swords. So how are you being perceived right now? We have the Knight of Cups. Okay, you're definitely being perceived as somebody who is who follows their heart. Okay, you're highly intuitive here with the Knight of Cups. You're definitely being perceived as a charmer too, because people cannot pinpoint what it is about you, but there's something about you that's very drawing, that's very dreamy, that's very pure and innocent with the Knight of Cups. So how are you being perceived right now? We have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, you're being perceived as somebody who's been through a lot, who has a lot to a lot of like battles, that a lot of like war wounds and scars from the battle that you had to endure. Like with the Nine of Wands, you definitely give off the vibe that you have strong boundaries here with the Nine of Wands. Like you're not somebody who's easily swayed or manipulated. This is what I'm getting here, and this is how you're being perceived. Like you're very cautious. Okay, how are you being perceived right now? We have the Two of Wands. So you're definitely being perceived as somebody who's future oriented with the Two of Wands. Future, I'm getting like futuristic. I don't know why I'm getting that, but you're forward thinking, you're somebody who's bold, and that makes sense because we have the King of Wands here. So this is like a passionate energy, a very driven energy. You're also being perceived as somebody who's initiator. Okay, you take charge, you're bold, you think far, like far ahead. Okay, you're far sighted. So how are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? How are you being perceived? Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived? We have the Hierophant, okay? You're definitely being perceived as a guru, as a master of your craft, okay? Heavily with the King of Wands, the fact that you're very bold, action oriented, you are driven, you're a self starter, you're an initiator, and you're also somebody who possess a lot of wisdom with the Hierophant, okay? A lot of wealth of knowledge here that you're able to share with the public if you wanted to. This is how you're being perceived. Like you're a great addition to a team. This is how you're being perceived, especially if you have started a new job or like you are in a new environment. I'm getting like these two, like you're part of a new community or a new environment, even like neighborhood. Like people are intrigued by you. People are curious about you with the Hierophant, okay? Because you keep to yourself. You're very selective. How are you being perceived? We have the Page of Pentacles. Somebody who's practical, somebody who is grounded, but also somebody, like I said, because the Page of Pentacles could also represent a cautious energy, okay? Somebody who is still like in the beginner stage of like a new process or a new way of doing something, or still like student learning. So I feel like because you might be brand new in the environment, because that's what I keep getting, like a brand new energy with the Page of Pentacles, you come off as very cautious, okay? Like still learning the ropes, getting used to the new environment. So how are you being perceived? We have the Eight of Wands. Yeah, you're definitely being perceived as somebody who is bold, action oriented, somebody who is swift, okay? When you have your mind made up on a specific goal or a specific task or a specific project that you want to accomplish or an endeavor, you're going to take charge with the Eight of Wands. You're not going to stall. You're not going to wait around for permission. How are you being perceived? We have the Three of Pentacles. So you're definitely being perceived as somebody who is grounded with the Three of Pentacles, practical with the Three of Pentacles, a great team player. I feel like maybe some people may have tried to find out things about you and they're realizing that your reputation definitely precedes you. How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? We have the Knight of Wands. Ooh, okay. You're definitely being perceived as a charmer here. Somebody who is bold, somebody who is adventurous with the Knight of Wands, okay? Somebody who has, I heard somebody who has Riz. With the Knight of Wands. Oh my God. How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? Guys. How are you being perceived? Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived right now? No, just one card, please. How are you being perceived? Ooh, Three of Swords. Heartbreaker. Mm-mm. Something about like heartbreak, or you're definitely being perceived as somebody who's out of people's leagues, okay? Like maybe somebody may have tried to like offer you something, a cup of love or something, and you rejected them, but you're definitely being perceived as a heartbreaker or like somebody who has really high standards. We have the Chariot, Cancer energy again. Yeah, you're definitely being viewed as somebody who's very structured, somebody who's disciplined, strong will, okay, determined, okay? Like you're not going to stop until you accomplish a specific task or a specific goal. And that's what I was saying with the Knight of Wands. But because Cancer is a cardinal sign, you're like a natural born leader, okay? Natural born self starter. How are you being perceived? How are you being perceived? Right. Ooh, we have Virgo, okay, with the Hermit card. Yeah, you're definitely being perceived as somebody who keeps to yourself. Like you're very task and goal oriented. You're somebody who's willing to put the necessary work in order to get things done, but you're not going to overextend yourself, or you're not going to waste time on tasks or people or events that do not serve your highest good. Okay, you're very picky with your time, with your resources. How are you being perceived? We have the King of Wands again. You're definitely being perceived as a natural born leader, as a self starter, somebody who is bold. Some people may also perceive you as being cocky or arrogant because you're very sure of yourself. Because the King of Wands does not operate out of insecurities, only when he's in reverse. When he's in reverse, he's a real tyrant. But when he's upright, he's like a fair ruler. He is inspiring, okay? He inspires other people to be the best version of themselves. And the King of Wands creates other leaders because he inspires other people and he shows them the way. Like he doesn't mind sharing the stage. When he's in reverse, that's when he's very like a tyrant. He wants to be the only one, like to have all the attention, like very insecure, abusive. That's the energy of the King of Wands in reverse. But because it's upright, it really sets the tone with like when it comes to your personality and the way that you conduct yourself, how you inspire other people, how they see you when you walk into a room. It's like obviously you're always going to have people that are insecure that's going to project onto you their insecurities, okay? But with the King of Wands, what I'm getting here is that you're the type of person that do not care about that stuff. Like you're more focused on helping the people that want to win, the people that want to take charge of their life, the people that want to elevate. Okay, you're going to help them too. So how are you being perceived? We have the King of Cups. Yeah, you're street smart as well with the King of Cups, emotionally intelligent. That's how you're being perceived right now. Like people see you as somebody who is wise beyond your years with the King of Cups. Like you know how to handle yourself in difficult, challenging position or situation. How are you being perceived right now? Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived? We have the Hangman. You're definitely being perceived as somebody who thinks outside the box, somebody who brings in fresh new perspectives, okay? You're definitely being perceived as someone who is well balanced too. This is what I'm getting here. Like you're able to surrender to the divine and allow things to happen for you. You're not really forcing situations, you're not really forcing relationships. You allow things to flow naturally. How are you being perceived right now? Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived right now? We have the Four of Wands. You're definitely being perceived as somebody who is very stable, harmonious. Okay, there's a lot of stability, happy, loving energy surrounding you at this moment, my pal. Number one, that people could pick up on, but they could tell that you're very stable, that you're a very grounded individual. You're grounded, you're secure in yourself. How are you being perceived? We have a guide. Okay, represent the nature of divine in life and in yourself. So going back to the King of Wands, you're definitely inspiring. You guide people to the right path. You're definitely a leader, and this is how you're being perceived right now. People want to follow your lead. We have Father. It says talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. The Father could represent also the Emperor. Okay, so this is very much like, you see where it says positive guiding light, and then we have guide here. So that theme about you being a guide, a guiding light in a tribal unit. So tribal unit could also represent community. So with this energy, you're somebody who's well respected within the community that you just like the community that you just formed, or the community that you just are you're part of right now. Because I feel like this is a new community that you're being part of. That's why I was getting like a new job, a new home, like a new place to stay, like you just moved to a new neighborhood, or like a class or something like that, or course that you're taking, or like, it could also be career oriented, like a new career path, and then you're connecting with other professionals. That's what I'm getting here. How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? How are you being perceived? Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived? Thank you. We have Orphan. It says independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. So you're definitely being perceived as someone who has been alone, like has been like battling a lot of things on their own. Like Nine of Wands energy, this is what I'm getting here with the Orphan. Like you had to survive on your own. You had to go through a lot of hardship on your own. And you definitely give off the vibe that you, like, not that you're suffering in silence, but you may have had to suffer in silence because you didn't really have the support that you needed. How are you being perceived? We have Child, Divine. Okay, it says innocence, purity, and redemption. Suggests special connection with the divine. So there is definitely an energy of purity about you, because I did say that with the Knight of Cups earlier in the read, that you're definitely pure, you're definitely a good-hearted individual. And I'm also getting like with the special connection to the divine, with the divine, and we have the High Priestess here. People, they perceive you as somebody who's mystical, who's magical. Even if they're not into spirituality or into tarot, they could tell that you have this connection with the divine. They could tell that you're chosen. Okay, this is what I'm getting here, that you have this connection, that you have, that there's a higher force guiding you. Okay, so that's all I have for you, my pal number one. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in my next video, pal number one. Bye. Hi, Bell2. Welcome to my channel. This is stellabeautytarot by Ketchu again with another video. So, my pal number two, you picked the yellow teddy, and this is going to be your reading, okay? So if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back. And if you are a newbie, or welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. So the way that I like to do this is like to smudge the cards first before we get started, so we don't pick up the energy of previous pal or previous readings, okay? So my pal number two, how are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? We have the Ace of Wands. Ooh, you're definitely being perceived as inspiring. There is a spark around you. Okay. There is a lot of fire. There's a lot of like passion. So you may have like people that are interested in you in a romantic sense. There's a lot of sexual energy, a lot of like attractiveness. So you're definitely being perceived as like I don't know why I heard a hot tamale. That's what I heard, guys. You're definitely being perceived as like high value, like a bachelorette or bachelor, like Nine of Pentacles energy. This is what I'm getting here. Like if the Nine of Pentacles comes out for you by pile number 2, I won't be surprised. Okay, because that's the energy that I'm picking up on for you. Like the Nine of Pentacles, like abundance energy, self-sufficient, self-made energy. Like that's what I'm getting here, self-made for you. So how are you being perceived right now? We have the Lovers. Didn't I say? I'm telling you, you have people that are checking for you. There are people, or a lot of people are attracted to you. You're definitely being perceived as the ideal lover. You're definitely being perceived as somebody that people want to date. People want to get to know on a deeper level. People want to take a risk. They want to risk it all for you. Okay, this is what I'm getting here. Okay, and it also represents, like, we have also have it with the Lovers as Gemini energy. So there is this a duality about you that people are drawn to. So you have a really good balance of feminine and masculine energy, because that's what Gemini is the feminine and masculine in one. And with the Lovers here, I get like you get along with women and you get along with men like equally well. Okay, this is what I'm getting here. You're definitely being perceived as somebody who is able to blend in or able to interact with different types of people simultaneously and fluidly. Okay, because Gemini is a mutable sign, right? So how are you being perceived? We have the three. Ooh, okay, about number 2, you coming through with a bang. Okay, you're definitely perceived as a heartbreaker. Like you're being perceived as somebody who has a lot of options in love. So you're being perceived as being picky, as you should be. If you have a lot of options, you're not going to settle for the first one. Like, why would you do that when you have multiple options to choose from? And it's not about being like a player or anything of that sort, but it's like if you have a lot of options, you want to choose the best out of all the options. You don't want to just choose just any option, and it's not even good for you, right? So I feel like you come with a lot to a lot to offer, and I feel like that's why you're picky. Okay, you see, we have the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles. Like, come on now. How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? We have, okay, no, that's too many. How are you being perceived right now? Just one card, please, Spirit. Just one card. How are you being perceived? Ooh, we have the Wheel of Fortune, Sagittarius energy, Jupiter energy. You're definitely being perceived as somebody who's destined for greatness. People could see that, especially with the Ace of Wands, like that spark, that drive, that fire that you have, that zest within you. People could see that. They could see the drive that you have. Like, I feel like some of you are very like, you're a hustler by nature. Like, you like to get things done. You have big dreams for yourself. I'm getting like with big dreams with Ace of Wands. It's not like, you're dreaming like far. You're far sighted with the Wheel of Fortune. Like, you see the bigger picture, okay, of like the scheme of things. That's what I'm getting here with the Wheel of Fortune. And this is how you're being perceived as well. Like, people may not have your big vision, but they could tell that you do. They could tell that you have a mission, that you're going someplace and you're not going to settle. You're not going to just choose whatever just to be comfortable. You're okay with taking chances. You're okay to spinning the wheel and trying to see if it's going to turn in your favor. Like, you're okay with like not gambling per se, but like taking inspired risk, okay, to dream big. That's what I'm getting here. Okay, how are you being perceived? How are you being perceived? We have the Strength card, the Leo energy. Yeah, you're being perceived as somebody who's a sovereign being, somebody who has a lot of like willpower with the Strength card. Like, you're not somebody who's easily swayed or manipulated. And also you're definitely being perceived as somebody who's influential, because I feel like when you walk into a room, It's like all eyes on you. Everybody like just stops and stares at you, even if it's like for a brief second, or they just like, glance at you and then just quickly go back to what they were doing because they don't want you to catch them looking. You have this power within you that you command the room when you walk in, and it's just like natural to you. You don't have to force it. You don't have to, put on a show for everybody to look at you. No, it's just natural to you. This is what I'm getting here. How are you being perceived right now? We have the Death card, Scorpio energy. So you're definitely being perceived as magnetic here, okay? You could be a Scorpio, Sagittarius cusper. Don't have to be, but you're definitely being perceived as somebody who's resilient, somebody who is powerful, somebody who is able to transform and transmute energy, okay? That's what I'm getting here. How are you being perceived? We have the Five of Cups. Ooh, this is like missed opportunity, regret. You're definitely being perceived as somebody people fumbled. Like it's like it's not easy to get with you, but it's also not easy to keep you, okay? Like you have high standards for yourself. You're not going to tolerate anything less than the best. So if somebody acts like a fool, you're going to leave them. You're going to drop them like a bad habit. You're not going to deal or tolerate their behavior, okay? You're not going to do that. You're going to drop them if you feel like they're disrespecting you, or they're behaving in a way that you feel is below you. So how are you being perceived? We have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, you're definitely being perceived as somebody who's meticulous, hardworking, who's dedicated, very patient here, structured. Okay, how are you being perceived? What do we have here? We have, ooh, didn't I say you have options here? You have options. You're definitely being perceived as somebody who has option, and it's not just in love. It's like you have option in friendship, you have option in like career, like opportunities, because I feel like you made yourself indispensable. Okay, you made yourself valuable by investing in you with the Ace of Wands. Like you invested in your craft, you invested in yourself, you invested in your looks. Like you're, I heard looks maxing. Okay, maybe you did that. You work with what you got and you maximize it, and now you're getting the benefit with the Seven of Cups. How are you being perceived? Ooh, we have the Star. You're definitely being perceived as original, authentic. Okay, yes, you're influential. You have this power about you that is undeniable, my pal number two, that people could see the passion within you, the drive, the fire within you with the Star. How are you being perceived? How are you being perceived right now? What do we have here? No, just one card, please. How are you being perceived? We have the Ten of Cups, emotionally fulfilled. Like you're being perceived as somebody who has it all together, like who's emotionally fulfilled in their life, who's emotionally content. Even if you're still like, exploring your options and seeing where life will take you with the Ace of Wands, you're not afraid with the Ten of Cups to like be happy with what you already have, and even if you want more, you're still happy and you've created some sort of harmony for yourself. Like you definitely come off as somebody who is really entering into a phase of their life where they're content and they're secure within themselves. Okay, how are you being perceived? We have the Chariot. Yo, pile number two, we have so many major arcanas for you. We have one, two, three, four, five, six major arcanas for you. Like, holy moly. What? Like, we have the Chariot, structured and disciplined energy with Cancer. You're a natural born leader. That's how you're being perceived right now. You're somebody who is a self starter, initiator, somebody who's bold in your interactions, bold in the things that you do. You're the type of person with the Chariot that once you have your mind set up and it makes sense with the Ace of Wands on a task, on a goal, you're going to accomplish it. You're really determined like that. How are you being perceived right now? We have, okay, just one card, please, Bear. How are you being perceived? We have Temperance, another major arcana, like seven now. We're at seven, okay? What? My pal number two, it's like you're being perceived as an alchemist, okay? You like, I'm getting like superpower here. Like you have the ability to turn a negative situation into something positive. You know how to alchemize the energy around you. You know how to make things work for you. This is what I'm getting here with the Temperance card. How are you being perceived? Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived? You're definitely being perceived as well balanced as well with the Temperance card. How are you being perceived? Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived? Just one card, please. Wow, holy moly. How are you being perceived? High Priestess. Cancer energy again. Like Cancer came out twice for pile number one as well. So that cardinal energy is coming out heavy, okay? So with the Cancer energy, with the High Priestess, you're definitely being perceived as somebody who's very spiritual, somebody who's very in tune, in touch with mysticism, with their higher self, okay? Or somebody who has a lot of wisdom, okay? Like that's how you're being perceived. Like there's more to you than meets the eyes. How are you being perceived? Ooh, Three of Swords again. My pile number two. You're definitely being perceived as a heartbreaker. But I'm also gonna like there is a touch where people could sense that maybe you've been through hardship in your life as well, and that could be the reason why you're very cautious about like who you let close to you, and you're very picky. Like you're not going to settle. Okay, you're not going to settle for less just to say you have somebody. You're not going to do that to yourself. So how are you being perceived? How are you being perceived right now? What do we have here? No, just one please. How are you being perceived? Ooh, we have the Tower. I heard intimidating with the Tower because there's many layers to you. Like there is this unpredictability that people could sense about you. Like they they won't be able to tell exactly what you're capable of, but they could tell that there's many layers to you, and you're not the one to be messed with the Tower. Like there is another side of you that, if provoked, might cause a disaster for the other person, for the other party. Okay, how are you being perceived? We have the Three of Cups. Yeah, there's this like celebratory, joyful energy, but I feel like with the Three of Cups is more contained, is very like there's an energy and air of privacy about you with the Three of Cups, because the Three of Cups is like celebratory, but it's like a close friends. It's not like just random people that you would celebrate with. This is what I'm getting here. And that's how you're being perceived. Like you're very picky with your surroundings, who you allow in your social circle. How are you being perceived right now? Just one card, please, Spirit. We have the Seven of Cups again. Options. But it's like not just option, like I said, in love. It's like opportunities in career, opportunities in friendship, opportunities in collaboration. Okay, gifts. Like I feel like you also have multiple gifts and talents with the Seven of Cups that you could utilize in order to better your life too. How do people perceive you? How are you being perceived? We have the Hermit card, Virgo energy. So you're definitely being perceived as somebody who keeps to yourself. Like you're not really all up in the mix. Okay, with the Hermit card, yes, you do have friends, but like I said, you're very selective. You're not gonna have like 20 friends. You're gonna have like two close friends, three at max, and that's it. But then you keep your circle tight knit. You may have a lot of acquaintances, but not a lot of friends. Okay, how are you being perceived right now? Oh, we have Messiah serving humanity with humility. That's how you're being perceived, as somebody who is sent from above or like has a higher calling. Okay, you're definitely a guiding light for some people. How are you being perceived? Wow, it says judge, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. This is giving me justice energy, like Libra energy. So if you are a Libra and it's your birthday today, happy birthday, okay? Definitely giving Libra energy with the justice, with the judge card, okay? So you're definitely being perceived as somebody who's balanced, fair, just in your dealings with others. You don't discriminate. How are you being perceived? We have child nature. It says friendships with animals, communication with nature spirits. So like this is telling me like people perceive you as somebody who has like a very deep connection to animals. So maybe animals like gravitate towards you, like dogs, cats, even birds, or like like bunnies and stuff like that. I'm getting like they gravitate towards you naturally, like animals like sense your good spirit. How are you being perceived? Just one card, please. We have addict. It says helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. You're definitely being perceived not as an addict, but you're being perceived as somebody who knows how to control or has a grip on like their lower self. So this is giving me a little bit like the devil energy, but you don't have any addiction. I'm not gonna make you have addiction. It's more about like you not being easily swayed or tempted. Like you don't fall into temptation easily. That's how people are perceiving you, because maybe somebody may have tried to tempt you with some, you know, um substances and stuff like that, and you were like, no, I don't. Wow, I don't do that. Yeah, it could have been something like that because I couldn't even speak. Okay. So that's all I have for you, my pal number two. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in my next video, pal number two. Bye. Hi, pal three. Welcome to my channel. This is Stella Beauty Tarot by Ketchu again with another video. So, my pal number three, you picked the blue teddy. And this is going to be your reading, okay? So if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back. And if you are a newbie, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. So the way that I like to do this is like to smudge the cards first before we get started, so we don't pick up the energy of previous file or previous readings, okay? So my pal number three, how are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived right now, my pal number three? Oh, wow. Eight of Cups. Emotionally withdrawn, emotionally detached. I also heard emotionally unavailable. You may have some people in their feelings because you're no longer invested as you were before. You may have completely detached from a situation, a community, a group of people, friends, but you've emotionally detached. You are emotionally unavailable. You're out of reach. I heard you're long gone, okay? Somebody could definitely be in their feelings because of that. How are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived? We have the Magician, Gemini, Virgo energy. So you're definitely being perceived as somebody who's taking control of their life, somebody who's manifesting something, um, like something of their dreams, okay? Something of the dreams, manifesting their dreams with the Magician. You're putting things into motion and you're manifesting this in a real time with the Magician. Okay, you're utilizing your skill sets, your talent to better your life, and this is how you're being perceived right now. How are you being perceived right now? We have the Six of Pentacles. You're being perceived as somebody who was extremely generous and resourceful, but you've decided to pull your energy back and pour into yourself, because I feel like there was an imbalance in your life that caused you to walk away with the Eight of Cups. And by walking away, you were able to recalibrate your energy and pour back into your own cup instead of like pouring into someone else's cup and then being empty yourself. So I feel like people are perceiving you as like withholding now with the Six of Pentacles, like you're withholding your resources and you're pouring back into yourself because of the imbalance that you've experienced. How are you being perceived? Yeah, we have the Four of Swords. Yeah, you're retreating. That's what I'm getting here. You're retreating. You're pulling back your energy. You're no longer investing like you used to with the Four of Swords. Like, you know, your Six of Pentacles, you're not investing anymore. You're pouring back into yourself. You're retreating with the Four of Swords. You're recalibrating. You're putting back into your own cup, and you're leaving certain people behind because you know they're draining to you. So how are you being perceived? I just seen the Four of Cups. It went to come out. How are you being perceived right now? There's too many. How are you being perceived? Just one, please, Spirit. Three of Swords. Yeah, I heard rebelling. You're rejecting certain notions. You're rejecting certain people. That's how you're being perceived right now. Some people could also perceive you as being heartbroken or being let down. Maybe this is the reason why you're walking away, because you have been pouring onto people too many times and you're noticing that they're taking advantage of you. So you decided to pour back into yourself. Forget about these certain people that are not, in alignment with you, and then just like continue to push through, but you're retreating with the Four of Swords, like you're taking a break. How are you being perceived? How are you being perceived? Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived right now? Just one card. Just one card. How are you being perceived? Just one, please. Wow. How are you being perceived? Spirit, just one, please. How are you being perceived? I'm like getting like 4 at a time. How are you being perceived? Ooh, Nine of Pentacles. Ooh. You're being perceived as self-sufficient, abundant, self-made, okay? Like self-sufficient. This is what I'm getting here with the Nine of Pentacles. That's how you're being perceived, because you decided to take a step back. Like I said, recalibrate with the Four Swords, pouring into yourself, rejecting a notion, rejecting people, and investing in your growth. Okay. Right now, you're all about growth mindset. You're all about elevation. You're all about perseverance. You're not here to sugarcoat things or to appease other people's ego. You're not doing that. Okay. Maybe you used to do that in the past, but you're not doing it any longer. So, how are you being perceived? Just one card, please, Spirit. How are you being perceived? Just one card. Definitely like the Queen of Swords. We have Empress. Yes, you've leveled up, okay? You're definitely being perceived as gracious, okay? You're definitely being perceived as somebody who has the ability to manifest things with ease. And you see, we have the Magician. This is like amplifying your energy, amplifying your essence, your manifestation gifts and powers. You're very abundant, and you've cultivated a lifestyle for yourself that can be easily duplicated without having to do the work. Okay, so some people, they want to skip all of the hard work that you had to put in order to become the Empress and the Nine of Pentacles energy. Now you are just resting in your laurels. Some people feel like it's kind of like unfair that you get to enjoy the fruits of your own labor, but you see, you're entitled. Okay, how are you being perceived? How are you being perceived right now? Wow, Five of Cups. You're definitely being perceived as like heartbreak, missed opportunity, disappointment. Not that you're a disappointment, but people are disappointed. Sorry about that, my pal. Number 3. So as I was saying, people are like disappointed in themselves for like letting you go, for not taking you seriously when they had the chance to be in your life with the Five of Cups. So this is where the disappointment comes in. But you're also definitely being perceived as somebody who experienced a lot of disappointment yourself, okay? And that's the reason why you decided to finally let go, and like you told yourself, what's the point? Like if I keep trying to like make a relationship work, half people respect me and they still like throwing dirt in my face, why do I continue to put myself through this like predicament? I'm going to move on. Okay, this is what I'm getting here. How are you being perceived? Yeah, Seven of Wands. You're definitely being perceived as like, I heard combative, but you have strong boundaries here and with good reason, okay? You've cultivated a lifestyle for yourself that you do not want anyone to disturb or anyone to come and destroy what you have built for yourself with the Seven of Wands. So you have your guards up and you're willing to fight for your position. And this is how you're being perceived right now. So maybe somebody may have tried to test a boundary or push themselves onto you and you said no. How are you being perceived? We have the Three of Cups. Okay, so you're definitely being perceived as somebody who is very joyful, who's enjoying your life. Okay, you're celebrating something right now, but you're celebrating in secret. I I feel like you're just like very picky with who you allow in your space to celebrate with you, or to have access to your benefits, or access to your the fruits of your labor. So how are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? How are you being perceived? Yeah, we have Three of Pentacles. We have 333. So mind, body, and soul. You're definitely in alignment here with 333. And how you're being perceived right now is like you're being perceived as somebody whose reputation definitely precedes you. There's an energy of excellence about you. Okay, so we have 369. Okay, there's something about these three numbers. Okay, there's something about like progression and unity with when it comes to you, my pal number three. Okay, and people could sense that in your pal number three. So there's the number three is very significant for you. Okay, so how are you being perceived? We have the Page of Wands, a source of inspiration. Okay, you're definitely being perceived as such with the Page of Wands, because even though you may have some people that are kind of sad or upset that you block them or you're no longer investing in them, there's another side. Maybe some people are like rooting for you with the Page of Wands, like they're actually happy about the changes that you've made in your life, or the boundaries that you've put in your life. Okay, and you see how the Seven of Wands just came out. You definitely have people that are not happy with your boundaries here. Okay, how are you being perceived right now? Just one card, please, Spirit. We have the Queen of Cups, emotionally intelligent, emotionally wise. Okay, yeah, you definitely have emotional intelligence. You know how to deal with people. I feel like the way that you cut off certain people, you did it swiftly without any drama. You just moved away. You naturally like just started like cutting them off, like slowly but surely. You cut them off with the Queen of Cups. You didn't do it abruptly like the Queen of Swords would. So you allowed them like emotional space. Okay, the Queen of Swords, she doesn't care how you feel. She's gonna cut you off. But you didn't do that with the Queen of Cups. Like you still decided to spare them because maybe you knew these people would not be able to handle the Queen of Swords energy, so you operated out of Queen of Cups in order to soften the blow, but they're still feeling it. But it's not like the sting is like the Queen of Swords, her sting is like sharp and immediate, right? It's not like something that you're going to be able to just dismiss. Like she's just gonna cut you off and then you're gonna feel the sting immediately. But the Queen of Cups is more like gradually, like, you know, and then eventually you're gonna be like, what, you just cut me off like that, no warning? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm getting here with the Queen of Cups. How are you being perceived right now? Ooh, we have the Star. You're definitely being perceived as somebody who's original, somebody who's authentic, somebody who is real with themselves, somebody who's staying true to themselves. Okay, with the Star energy, you could be an Aquarius, don't have to be. Wow, we have the Hermit, Virgo energy again. Okay, so you're definitely being perceived as a sovereign being, somebody who does not mind being on their own. With the Hermit card, you shine brightly with the Star, but you don't mind walking alone. Okay, you don't need other people around you in order to feel secure within yourself. Like I feel like some of you prefer to be on your own. So how are you being perceived right now? How are you being perceived? Ooh, we have the Wheel of Fortune. You're definitely being perceived as somebody who is destined for greatness with the Wheel of Fortune, somebody who has a really higher calling on their life. Okay, I think I got that for pile number one, if I'm not mistaken. It might be pile two, but I feel like it's one. Okay, and if you're being called to watch another pile, there could be a message for you in there too. So with the Wheel of Fortune, I'm heavy on like the energy of like being destined for greatness, being destined for something bigger, a higher calling, okay, something that is going to be worldwide. And especially with the Star, like it's giving the vibe that you're supposed to be doing something collectively, not just like locally. Okay, so how are you being perceived? Ooh, Five of Wands. Ooh, competition. Seven of Wands is here too. You're definitely being perceived as competition, my pal number three. People want your spot. people want to be able to live the life that you live, because you're living the life of life of luxury, right? Self-made, Nine of Pentacles. It's all of your own merit. All of your efforts are about to pay off, or it's paying off right now, and people want to be able to reap those benefits without having to do the work. That's why they perceive you as the Five of Wands. Like, they want to challenge you, they want to overthrow, dethrone you, basically. They want to sit on your throne and claim your blessings without having to do the work, but it's not going to happen. How are you being perceived? We have the King of Cups. Yeah, King and Queen of Cups. You're definitely being perceived as somebody who has a really good balance of feminine and masculine energy, emotionally intelligent. Okay. You're also being perceived as emotionally safe. How are you being perceived? We have the Hangman. We have all the mutable signs here. So you're definitely being perceived as somebody who's flexible, somebody who's agile, okay, mentally agile, okay? You're able to roll with the punches. You're able to, move through life with the least resistance, okay? You're able to, you're adaptable. That's how you're being perceived right now, because I feel like you had to go through, like I heard you had to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Like, you had to go through that, go through like a lot of hardship, okay? So how are you being perceived? We have Fool. It says fearlessly revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity, wow, and hypocrisy. Holy moly. Okay. So what I'm getting here with fearlessly, holy moly, what's going on? Revealing emotion. So you're somebody who, not that you wear your heart on your sleeve, but you're honest with your emotions. Like, you're not the type of person that's going to use emotional blackmail or emotional manipulation to get what you want. Okay. So how are you being perceived? We have Lover. Okay. So it says great passion and devotion, unbedrilled appreciation of someone or something. This is what I'm getting here. You're definitely being perceived as a passionate, loving individual. Like I said, your emotions are real. So when you show genuine care, genuine love, it's not a gimmick. You're not pretending. And this is how you're being perceived. Like, you're definitely somebody who is honest with your emotions and how you show love, how you show up. How are you being perceived? How are you being perceived? Oh, we have God. It says benevolence and compassion. That's the second time that we have the, oh no, it's not compassion, it's passion. Okay. So we have recognizing the internal force within yourself and others. This is what I'm getting here. You're definitely being perceived as a divine being. Yeah, that's why we have the Five of Cups, because they're realizing that they messed up with you. They had a chance to be around somebody who is very beneficial, but also somebody who is very loving. Like, people like you don't come around often, okay? And people, they fumble you all the time, and it's like just exhausting for you to always go through that. So that's why I feel like with the Hermit card, you decide to pour back into yourself and say F you to other people. So how are you being perceived right now? We have a rescuer, provides strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. Like, holy moly. That's what I was getting, like with the Six of Pentacles. That's like kind of like rescuer energy as well, because it's in balance, right? A rescuer is like provides strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. So you are a pure-hearted individual. When you give from the heart. Like I was saying earlier, like, you're not going to use or abuse people, manipulate them, emotionally blackmail them to get what you want, okay, or to get them to comply. You're not going to do that, okay? And that's how you're being perceived right now, okay? Like, people are finally seeing the truth. They fumbled you, okay? So that's all I have for you, my pal number 3. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in my next video, pal number 3. Bye.